All right, welcome back to the Bay. Today, we've got a classic hardware showdown for you. It's the veteran champion versus the new challenger. In this corner, we have the legendary RTX 3080, a card that, let's be honest, defined an entire era of 4K gaming. And in the other corner, we have the RTX 5070, the lean, mean, next-generation machine. Let's get him in the ring. Okay, so let's get to know our fighters a little better. On one side, you've got the RTX 3080. This was the powerhouse from NVIDIA's Ampere architecture that for a long time was the card pretty much all of us were dreaming about. It's a proven workhorse. On the other side is the RTX 5070, the new kid on the block from the Blackwell generation, and it's promising way more efficiency and some seriously smart performance. You know what this is. It's the old guard versus the new blood. So let's just get right to what you're all here for. Round one is all about raw power. We're talking pure frames per second at 1440p, which is really the sweet spot for most PC gamers these days. We're not using any special tricks here, no AI upscaling just yet. This is a straight-up, head-to-head FPS showdown. And we are starting with an absolute heavy hitter, Cyberpunk 2077. And right out of the gate, you can see the RTX 5070 is already pulling ahead, hitting 78 FPS to the 3080's 70. Now, an 8-frame lead might not sound like a huge number, but in a game this demanding, that is a clear, decisive win for the new architecture. Now, what about competitive games, where every single frame can be the difference between winning and losing? Well, the trend continues. In Warzone, the RTX 5070 is pushing 190 FPS. That's a solid 18 frames ahead of the 3080. If you're running a high refresh rate monitor, you are absolutely going to feel that difference. It's just smoother. And just to round things out, we see the same story in Fortnite, with the 5070 holding a 20 FPS advantage. So what's the big takeaway here? The crucial point is that across the board, in just pure rasterization, traditional gaming performance, the data from our source shows the RTX 5070 is consistently about 10 to 15% faster. It's a clear performance victory. But look, raw performance is really only half the story nowadays. A modern graphics card is so much more than just a frame pusher. It's a really smart piece of technology with a whole bag of new tricks. And this is where the 5070 really starts to run away with it, thanks to Blackwell's exclusive features. And the biggest trick of them all is DLSS 4. This is the 5070's ace up its sleeve. It's exclusive to the new Blackwell cards, and it uses AI to, and this is going to sound like magic, literally create entirely new frames out of thin air. This can massively boost your FPS. The RTS 3080, meanwhile, it's just locked out of this tech completely. It's limited to the older, still good, but not this good, DLSS 2. And this quote really highlights why these new features are such a big deal. Our source for this whole breakdown, bestgpusforgaming.com, puts it perfectly. They say the decision to upgrade really hinges on these exact points. If you care about the cutting edge of ray tracing and want access to game changers like DLSS 4, well, that's your reason to upgrade right there. When you look at the tech under the hood, it is a massive generational leap. The 5070 is packing 4th-gen ray tracing cores and 5th-gen tensor cores. Now, what does all that jargon mean for you? Well, the RT cores handle all that beautiful, realistic lighting, and the newer ones do it way more efficiently, so you get the eye candy without killing your frame rate. And the tensor cores? Those are the AI brains behind DLSS. The 3080's cores are still capable, don't get me wrong, but they're showing their age against these newer, more specialized processors. Okay, so we've seen the performance, and we've seen the features. Now let's talk about the part that hits home for most of us, the value. We're talking price tags, power bills, and what this all means for the rest of your system. Man, this chart tells such a fascinating story. The 5070 not only comes with more VRAM, a whole 12 gigs of the faster GDDR7, but just look at that power draw. We're talking 250 watts versus the 3080's incredibly thirsty 320 watts. That's a huge deal because it means you can probably get away with a smaller 650 watt power supply for the 5070 and maybe save yourself from having to buy a whole new PSU. And let's be super clear about what that lower power draw really means for you day to day. This is not just about your electricity bill. It means less heat getting dumped into your PC case. Less heat means your fans don't have to spin like crazy, which means a much, much quieter rig. It's a massive quality of life improvement. So when you boil it all down to pure value for a brand new build, the numbers just don't lie. Based on the source's data, the RTX 5070 gives you about 0.36 frames per second for every single dollar you spend.
The 3080, meanwhile, is lagging way behind. So for anyone building a new PC from scratch, the 5070 is simply the smarter financial move.
So we've covered the performance, the features, and the value. Now it is time for the final verdict. Let's break down exactly who should buy which card so you can figure out the perfect choice for your next build. Okay, so you gotta ask yourself, which builder are you? If you're starting a brand new 1440p build right now, the choice is honestly simple. Get the RTX 5070. It gives you better performance, it's got all the future-proof features, and it's way more efficient. Now, if you already have a 3080 in your system, that's a tougher call. The 5070 is a nice little quality of life upgrade, for sure, but you could probably wait, unless you're just dying to get your hands on DLSS 4. And finally, if you're a bargain hunter scouring the used market, hey, if you find a 3080 for a great price and you have the PSU to handle it, it's still an absolute beast of a card. And that really just leaves us with the final question. And this one's for you to decide. Are you going to side with the proven raw power of the veteran, the Ampere champ? Or are you going to bet on the future with the Challenger's smarter, leaner, more efficient technology? There's really no single right answer here, only the one that's right for your build and your budget. If you want a much deeper dive into all the numbers and more comparisons, you should definitely visit our source for this entire explainer over at bestgpusforgaming.com. Until next time, everyone, keep it cool and keep building.